Aging happens to all of us. Your birthday rolls around every 365 days, just like mine does. How old is too old to start paying attention to your health and your lifestyle? I often hear my friends say, is it too late for us? Well, that depends. Stay tuned to learn more about the surprising possibilities of aging.
Healthy isn't just what you do, it's who you become. I'm Dr. Vicki, and this is Healthy Looks Great on You, a lifestyle medicine podcast to help you reclaim your energy, your focus, and your well-being. Life tested, doctor approved.
Whether you're in your 30s or 80s, the years are marching by. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, there are some advantages to getting older. You might as well enjoy the ride. But some days I feel like I'm in one of those commercials where they say, we can't keep you from becoming your parents. One minute you're having a nice dinner with a group of friends, and the next someone is talking about their lab work, their frozen shoulder, or the joys of their colonoscopy. Good grief, how did we get here? Now, raise your hand if you've said, now that I'm postmenopausal, I can't lose belly fat, or it hurts to get out of bed every morning, or I'm getting too old for that. Now put your hand down. Lucille Ball said it best. The secret to staying young is to live honestly, eat slowly, and lie about your age. My great aunt lived to be 91, and she always lied about her age. But she never said she was younger. She lied in the other direction and told people she was 10 years older than she really was. That's way more likely to elicit the, oh, you look great response. I think aging is all in your head, and your joints, and your skin. Now, before we go to mini medical school, I've got a riddle for you. What do cigarettes and sunshine have in common? No, not the 1980s in a boat on the lake. Both can accelerate the aging of your skin. Now, I have no intention of smoking, but nor will I avoid the sun. So pass the sunscreen, please. And if you remember the Van Halen song, Go Ahead and Jump, but your knees are feeling a little creaky to jump, it's time to go to mini medical school and talk about geriatric medicine. And wait a minute, kids, this one is for you youngins too. This is a subspecialty that treats people 75 and older, focusing on maintaining independence and treating chronic illnesses. And according to the CDC, the average lifespan in the United States in 2025 is 79. In other parts of the world, it averages between 72 and 80. That's chronologic age. Then there's metabolic age, which is a snapshot of your body's efficiency when it comes to utilizing energy. Biologic age refers to the rate your cells, organs, and tissues are aging, and obviously that's important. And the truth is, some people seem to age faster and others age slower. And partly it's genetics and some is lifestyle and exposures. So how old are you? How old do you feel? And what do you want from the years? Whether it's many decades or just a handful that you have left in this old tent of flesh and bones. Because that's the real issue. Now, are you ready for some surprising good news? Dr. Becca Levy is a Yale professor, and her research shows that almost half of adults aged 65 and older improve in cognitive function, physical function, or both over time. 45%. So the best really may be yet to come. But that's highly dependent on two things: your mindset and your lifestyle. Let's start with mindset because it drives your behavior choices and the habits that underpin them. What is the aging story that you're telling yourself? Because it matters. Think of it like one of those filters that people use on their photos. You have options. You can use vibrance, which increases color saturation, or vivid, that makes the colors more intense, or vintage, that makes you look nostalgic. And yeah, some days I feel vivid, and others I feel vintage. But how you personally frame aging affects how you age. And I hear this all the time. I'm just getting old. Well, okay, maybe that's a fact, but here's the real question. Is it too late to do something about it? Here's the deal. Is your body telling your brain you're old, or is your brain telling your body it's old? Who's in charge here anyway? Now, I'm old enough to qualify for a senior discount. Wait, am I a senior citizen having a senior moment? No, no, no. I am the senior executive of my aging self. Yeah, senior executive. That's more like it. So I get a say in how I age. The narrative in your head defines your actions, reactions, choices, and approach to life. And your way of thinking is a habit. It's ingrained in your personality and your conversations, those you have with others and those you have with yourself. I recently surveyed the people in my email community. And you know what most of them said got them started on their health journey? A health scare. And fear is a great motivator, but only while you're running from the threat. If you're my age, you might remember the Scared Straight Project, where they took school kids into prisons and they showed them how bad life would be if they used drugs and alcohol or stole things or got in with the wrong crowd. And in the long run, it was a dismal failure. Otherwise, I'd be planning field trips to the nursing home to give us a glimpse of what the future might hold. Fear surges motivation, then fizzles out. The other thing my audience told me over and over and over is that mindset matters. One of your biggest obstacles might be a feeling of defeat and a loss of hope that you can ever change your habits and live a healthy lifestyle. And listen, either you win the genetics lottery or you're determined to rely on lifestyle to get you through your golden years. But that reliance is not on willpower, motivation, or discipline. You can design systems that make the desirable habits more automatic in your life. So if you want to stop starting over every Monday, you just make the right choice the easy choice. So here's your permission slip to stop trying harder to build healthy habits. You can just retire from working so hard at it and instead engineer your life to bring satisfaction, fulfillment, and even joy. Last week, within a 48-hour span, I attended 2 very different events, but heard very similar messages. Church on Sunday and a Stanford Medicine Healthy Aging Conference on Tuesday. And guess what? The pastor and the gerontologist said some of the same things. Number 1, we are made for connection. Relationships are the cornerstone of a satisfying life. Number 2, intentionality is necessary to guide your journey. And number 3, meaning, purpose, and joy make life worth living. That's true, no matter how young or old you are. Let's break down those 3 points straight from the pulpit and the research lab. Number 1, connection. My maternal grandparents lived 9 decades and died 9 days apart. Over 200 people attended each of their funerals. I think that represents lives well invested and connected to others. But loneliness rates are increasing, with nearly 40% of adults reporting 2 or fewer friends in 2025. Making friends isn't always easy, but building community enriches your life and gives you an opportunity to reciprocate. And don't miss that. My friend's husband just went through an extended illness, and she has said over and over how thankful she is for her friends who texted, called, and were there when she needed something. But guess what? She's a giver. She tends to the needs of others, and that back and forth is what defines a true relationship. When cultivating friendships, it shouldn't be all give, and it shouldn't be all take. It should be a way to carry each other's burdens and share each other's celebrations, sometimes leaning on her shoulder and other times letting her lean on yours. Friends change during different seasons of life too. When your kids were playing ball, you probably hung out with the other lawn chair toting parents. And going separate ways can feel like loss. But can I tell you a secret? Making friends when your kids are out of the house and you're not punching the clock every day gives you some flexibility to do things and cultivate those relationships. without having to subsist on ballpark hot dogs and the background noise of overzealous parents harassing the ref. And it may take more than a few tries to find people you click with. And I think that may be the biggest stumbling block for some people. And so this is where number 2 comes in, and that's intentionality. But it's not the last place it comes in. Be intentional about finding people who like to read books or play pickleball or play mahjong or grow flowers. And if your idea of social is social media, then go on Facebook and search for groups with similar interests and interact with those people. I can honestly say I've formed true connections online. But intentionality extends to all 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine: connection, nutrition, movement, avoiding harmful substances, managing stress, and adequate sleep. But here's the rub. You want to be intentional about building healthy habits, but you're old enough to have tried and failed more than a few times. It can feel overwhelming, and no one gets healthier from a place of overwhelm. So back to my earlier secret. Retire from trying so hard. By now, you probably have a long list of things you should do for your health. Avoid excess alcohol, sleep 8 hours a night, eat 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, drink plenty of water, get enough fiber, get enough protein, exercise 150 minutes a week. Oh, and do not be stressed. Plus, avoid ultra-processed foods, excess sugar, salt, and saturated fat. Practice gratitude and lift the big weights, not the little ones. Now, do you see why aging is such an advantage? Because no one who is an empty nest and retired has time for all of that. Just kidding, but seriously, it might help if you choose one of those pillars to start intentionally changing the direction that you're aging. And choose something that you enjoy doing and start there. Focus on the things that you truly want to do that align with your values and who you want to be. David Bowie believed that as people grew older, they became more, not less, of ourselves. He called it the extraordinary process of becoming our truest self. And number 3 is meaning and purpose. I feel younger in my 60s than I did in my 50s. I mean, the first couple of years after my 50th birthday, I could barely walk. And when I was so sick, I started blogging. Even though I could do very little physically, I had time and a keyboard. And more importantly, I had purpose, and writing gave my life meaning. So even if you're bedridden, you're not off the hook on this one. I know the clock is ticking, and you can't turn it back, but you can focus on aging well. And I am most certainly not talking about Botox or a facelift. It's the internal treasures like enough energy to go hiking in the woods, or strength to get up off the floor after playing with kids, or maintaining your mental edge so you can win at card games. And at the basis level, you want to maintain your independence. The people who thrive in their golden years don't say, I don't think I can learn to do that. And they don't say, I guess getting senile is inevitable. Nope. They say, what can I do starting right now to keep mind, body, and soul healthy? Because it's not too late. It's the perfect time. So what do you want to do with this one precious life you've got to live? Lie about your age? Or defy that voice in your head that's telling you that your body is failing? Because your body is not failing. It's responding to how you're treating it. And it's not too late either. It's the right time. Consider all these years you've already lived as a warm-up, like a practice session. Now, you can run toward the finish line with confidence, because knowing and living your purpose equals a fulfilled life, not just a full one. We talk about lifespan, but you know what's more important? It's health span. Lifespan is a measure of the years you live, but health span measures the years you live in good health. And that's the goal, quality, not quantity. If you're already in the fall or winter of life, you probably have what those spring chickens lament: time. Use that time to develop a routine. Connect healthy habits to existing habits you already have. This month in the Healthy Looks Great on You lab, I'm focusing on eating more fiber to nourish your gut microbiome. And that has profound effects on the brain. And if that's something you'd like to do, stay tuned because I've got an exciting tool coming soon. So if you aren't on my email list, be sure and subscribe so you don't miss it. Just go to healthylooksgreatonyou.com. And next week, we're going to talk more about fiber and how it controls appetite. And I promise that is way more interesting than it sounds. Because what you eat is one of the most powerful ways to change the story your body is telling. But starting today, I want your brain to control the narrative. Do this. Try to notice when you say things like, at my age, just be aware. Then reframe the story by celebrating what your body did today. And that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and the number of your days is recorded before even one of them came to be. Make it your goal to leave the world a better place than what you found it. And look forward to hearing, well done. If you're still breathing, you still have a purpose. Go live it. Be as healthy as possible as you age, because healthy looks great on you.
The information contained in this podcast is for educational purposes only and is not considered to be a substitute for medical advice. You should continue to follow up with your physician or healthcare provider and take medication as prescribed. Though the information in this podcast is evidence-based, new research may develop and recommendations may change.